94 HJY.
Coast 93.3.
Over at iHeart Radio, the station of the year. I'd like to say something about Rhonda. This may sound like I'm sucking up to my boss, but that's only because I'm sucking up to my boss. But Rhonda is our leader over at 75 Oxford, and yeah, it's a tough business. We all know that. But Rhonda makes that building at 75 Oxford a fun place to go, a positive place to go, and a place where we can work our craft as best as we can. But we always know that the people at top, especially Rhonda, appreciate what goes on at that radio station. It's a friendly place to work. It's a productive place to work. And she makes sure that we know we're appreciated by a trip up the stairs to say thanks, by a nice email or a nice note, and most of all, by the delivery each and every Thursday morning of Dunkin' Donuts Munchkins to our studio. And I'll tell you, if Rhonda misses a Thursday, she gets emails from us. But, we joke a lot about the Munchkins because they come every Thursday morning. But they are assigned to us that she knows that we're putting in the work that we can put in and that she appreciates it. It means an awful lot to us. So we want to thank Rhonda Lapham for all that she's done on behalf of iHeart Radio, and thank our iHeart Radio for their support of the community. Rhonda?
I really appreciate it. Good evening, everyone. Great news. I have great news for everybody. I really do not like public speaking, so I promise this is going to be very short. In fact, 4 minutes and 40 seconds, First, I wanted to thank the committee of the Rhode Island Radio Hall of Fame for nominating and choosing iHeart stations here in Providence as the stations of the year. We are incredibly humbled to receive this recognition, and we're really very honored, so thank you very much for that. When I learned that we would be receiving this reward or award, I was able to reflect on how very fortunate that I am to actually work with such a dynamic crew that I work with at iHeart. When I tell you that there isn't one individual in the building that wouldn't go that extra mile to make sure that something got done, that's a guarantee. It happens every single day in our building. It's a common theme, and it's actually a desire for us to serve the community, the listeners of Rhode Island and Southern Massachusetts. And it's for that reason that we participate in so many various different charitable events throughout the year. Anything from the Special Olympics, then we go to the American Heart Association walks, the Lung Association walk, and climb. We do the Tomorrow Fun Walk and a variety of March of Dimes events. The Providence Animal Rescue League, Providence Historical Society, Gloria Gemma organizations, Meeting Street, Toys for Tots, and of course, the Rhode Island Food Bank, which we'll catch up on a little bit later. All of these organizations touch so many different individuals within our community. and it's our responsibility to communicate the needs of these organizations as well as the services that they provide to our listeners and to our community. We do this so our listeners can be involved. They can also improve these organizations and then perhaps even have the opportunity to improve themselves. So let me take a few more minutes of your time to tell you about how the community and our listeners actually made a difference during our 33-hour food-a-thon that we held in November of last year. Each of our stations camped out in the vestibules of 3 different Ocean State job lots. We were in North Kingstown, we were in Coventry, and in Johnston. And our thought was that we wanted to reach all of the various different areas throughout Rhode Island, and so that we could have the whole community join our drive. Our day started out at 6 a.m. on November 18th, and thank God it wasn't a snowy or cold day. It was actually pretty mild. People were coming out with their cars and trucks filled with various different canned goods, and others were heading into the store, and then they were coming out of the store filled with shopping carriages filled with different goods that they were going to be transported then into various different RIPTA buses that we had at each one of the locations that were then going to be transported to the Rhode Island Food Bank. Our jocks were on the hand. They were chatting up the event, inviting listeners to come down, offering a pair of P. Bruins tickets or a T-shirt or a hat, whatever the lucky listeners were able to win when they when they dropped into the Plinko board. Truth be told, though, Bill George, that we did hold onto those WWE tickets into the late night hours, the 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Did we have a winner over there? We wanted those listeners to come on down. And believe it or not, we still had people coming at 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning. There was even a woman that was tucking herself into bed and was listening to the sultry voice of Bill George on B101. Yes, you all know it, right? He was talking about the food drive, and it was 9 o'clock in the morning, so she put her cat T-shirt on, and she decided she was going to go to a 24-hour grocery store. She bought a whole bunch of canned goods, and she came on down, and she made a donation. This is what we're talking about when we say that the community was involved. In fact, the community was so involved, they donated over 11,000 pounds of food, which was then matched with an additional 50,000 pounds of food from Ocean State Job Lot. It was simply fantastic and rewarding. It was an event that would not have been possible without the incredible involvement of our team in Providence as well as our listeners. We had the jocks, Paul and Al, Jen, Doug, Matt, Kelsey, TC, Kristen, Bill George, Mike Salwa, Matt Anderson, Steve Scarpetti, who not only was on the air, but he was also the individual that orchestrated the entire event. And then Rob Anthony, who of course created this wonderful and very unique opportunity. Our engineers, Steve Conti and Steve Filaravere, we couldn't have been able to do it without them. And we had our fingers crossed at 5:59 on November 18th when we went on the air that we were always going to be good. Then we had Jamie Harrington, who created a video, which unfortunately we can't see right now, but he went around to each one of our different locations that we were at, and he filmed a video so that we could recap our event and show all of the community what exactly they had done. Our promotions team, they were wide awake, again, even at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, enthusiastically loading up the RIPTA buses with all of the canned goods that they came in. And then finally, our sales team, each of whom did a shift and then some at each one of the events. Your dedication to our team's success is unmatched and very much appreciated. I would be remiss if I didn't thank, of course, the folks at Ocean State Job Lot for allowing us to take over their vestibules for the 33 hours, as well as the RIPTA folks that allowed us to take over their buses for 2.5 days. And then we were unloading them at the Rhode Island Food Bank. I swear, if I've missed anybody, I'm really terribly sorry, but I'm so appreciative of everybody who was involved in the event, and I want to thank them, and I look forward to working with you and everyone else for so many more years in the future. Thank you.